Hi, this is Bob Vineyard with the Georgia Medicare Minute. Let's talk for a moment about Medicare supplement rate increase history. It comes up quite often. People want to know, well, how much of this has this particular company increased their rates in the past? And the answer is it really doesn't matter. And I'll tell you why in just a moment. But people are looking for this kind of information. They won't find it on Medicare.gov. They won't find it on the Georgia Department of Insurance website. They won't find it on carrier websites. They may see some kind of marketing blah, blah, blah that says, hey, our rates have increased less than the national average and all this kind of stuff. I did find a consumer comment on a website for retired people, and it said that this particular carrier had an average of 4%, their national average increase was 4% for the years 2008 to 2012. That's not useful because all that says is that for the entire country, for all of the plans out there, the average increase for annual rate increase was 4%. Well, an average means that there are rate increases above that, there's rate increases below that, and it's useless to you in a particular state unless you know which plan they're looking at, because rates will increase on a plan F generally at a higher clip than on a plan G or some of the other plans. So again, the information is not useful. Partly because it's averages and it isn't specific enough. You can also go on a site, you can Google information. There's a company out there called CSG Actuarial that provides rate information on all the carriers that are out there. I subscribe to the service, as do a lot of insurance agents. And so I can get information for carriers here in Georgia, but the information is not useful. You can Google it. You can say, all right, CSG Actuarial Medicare Supplement Rate Increase History. And they publish a monthly report. And I just pulled up one. It just so happens to be, it was for March of this year. The very first carrier on there is Aetna Health and Life. And they're looking at rates as of April of 2018. The average increase is 5.1%. And then the next column says the rate increase history is 0% to 9%. So how helpful is that? Well, it's not helpful at all. You don't know the time frame involved. You don't know which plan they're looking at, because each plan will have a different kind of rate increase. F plan rates typically increase at a faster clip than G plan rates. And to make it even worse, well, the increase is 0% to 9%. Over what time frame? You don't know. Here's another carrier right below that, American Retirement Life, which is a Cigna company. They at least tell us that this is time frame is from March of 18 to April of 18. That's real helpful. Average increase is 13.3%. And the range is from 0% to 23.9%. How helpful is that? All right, let's bring it on down on a more personal level to what are the rate increases in Georgia. You're not going to find that information. I have a subscription to CSG Actuarial. They can give me that information, but I haven't found it useful because carriers typically don't stay in Georgia or any other state more than about 3 or 4 years. So, and a lot of times you'll see, well, the average rate increase is X. How long has the carrier been here? 2 years. Okay. There's an awful lot of carriers that are brand new. They haven't even been writing business in Georgia for a year. So if you've got carriers that rarely stay more than 3 or 4 years, And a lot of carriers that don't even haven't even been writing business here long enough to have any kind of rate increase history, then it comes down to that information, even when it's available, it doesn't help you. It doesn't provide anything at all. I do use as a benchmark, let's look at carriers that have been writing a particular plan, usually G, because most of my clients have a G plan. But I do suggest looking at carriers that have been writing business in a state for at least 5 years and have been writing that particular plan here. And it's almost impossible to find that information, again, because they just don't stay around that long. And it's a sad thing, but this is just the way the market is right now. It's been in a lot of turmoil the last 2 or 3 years with carriers coming and going. We have close to 60 carriers now writing Medicare supplement business in Georgia. Go back 3 years ago, and there were about half that number. So, I'll give you the information as best I can, and I'll do my best to answer your questions. But the rate increase history is just simply not available or not useful. But that's it. This is Bob Vineyard with the Georgia Medicare Minute. You have a great day.